The music was loud, the kind that seemed to fill every corner of the room, vibrating to the floor and settling in your chest. Laughter bounced off the walls. Glasses clinked. Camera flashes lit the crowd in bursts of gold and silver. It was supposed to be a night of celebration, our anniversary, surrounded by friends and colleagues who had watched our marriage grow over the years. I remember thinking everything looked perfect. The venue, the outfit, the couple, but perfection has a way of cracking quietly before it shatters. I spotted Daniel across the room, his tall frame catching the fairy lights. He was talking to a woman from his office I didn't recognize. She was beautiful, confident, radiating that effortless charm that comes from knowing exactly how much attention you command. They stood too close. Her laughter came too easily, and his smile, the one I had once thought belonged only to me, lingered far too long. I tried to push the ache down. It's just work talk, I told myself. Just a harmless conversation. I turned to greet another guest, plastering on a smile that didn't quite reach my eyes. But when I glanced back, both Daniel and the woman were gone. My pulse quickened. I scanned the room for him, but the crowd felt suddenly endless. I excused myself, heels clicking faster against the marble floor. That's when I noticed the open door at the back. Cold night air drifting in. Daniel was gone. For a few seconds, I stood frozen between warmth and winter, unable to reconcile what I was seeing. The spot where he had stood a moment ago felt hollow, as if the air itself had shifted. I stepped outside. The chill wrapped around me like a warning. Behind the heavy doors, the laughter and music faded, replaced by the distant hum of traffic and the soft rustle of leaves. I called his name once. No answer. My phone buzzed with messages from guests, asking where I'd gone, but none mentioned him. I waited 5 minutes, 10, 20, but he didn't return. 1,000 questions clawed at my chest. Had I said something wrong? Or was it something deeper, something that had been unraveling for far longer than I'd noticed? When I finally returned to hall, the lights felt too bright, the voices too sharp. Everyone danced as if nothing had happened, as if my world hadn't split open in silence. Sarah, my closest friend, caught my eye. "Where's Daniel?" she asked, her laughter still clinging to her voice. I opened my mouth to answer, but no words came, just a faint tremor of disbelief. My hands were cold, my drink trembling in them. The party went on, a glittering blur of smiles and toasts, but all I could hear was the echo of the door closing behind him. I didn't sleep that night. The clock blinked its red digits in the dark, mocking me with every passing minute. My phone stayed silent, his contact pin at the top of the screen, unread messages gathering like dust. By morning, I tried to convince myself there had to be an explanation, a fight I hadn't realized we'd had, an emergency, anything. But when I walked into the kitchen, his keys were gone. His watch, the one he never left behind, was missing too. Only his wedding ring remained, a small, unassuming circle of gold that suddenly felt unbearably heavy. I called again and again, each ring slicing deeper into the quiet. Eventually, I stopped. I just sat there staring at that ring, letting the morning light blur through my tears. Days passed, each colder than the last. People from the party texted, asking if everything was okay. I told him he was traveling for work, that he needed a break. Little lies that tasted bitter, but were easier than the truth. It's strange how quickly silence can become a presence. It filled our home, our routines, my thoughts. And somewhere in that silence, I began to notice the cracks. The way I'd stopped listening, the way his eyes had grown tired when I spoke about everything except him. The party lights had faded, but their glow still haunted me, a reminder the night he chose to disappear.